Hey guys, Clifton Stommel here. Super quick video today. Just want to talk about 3 super important things you need to know about the Pyxis 6K. Elsewhere on my channel, I also have a couple of videos with 6 quick tips on how to shoot with your Pyxis 6K, as well as 5 super important accessories you don't want to miss when building out your rig. But right now, let's get into it. All right, now first off, let's talk about sensor size. We know that this is a full frame sensor, and specifically it's a 2:3 aspect ratio, which means it's the same size sensor as an actual 24x36 piece of film stock, which is really cool because you can shoot open gate and have it behave more like a traditional film camera shooting on 35mm film. Now, you may not have lenses that fit that sensor size. However, the 4K mode is almost a perfect Super 35 crop on the sensor. So if you happen to have APS-C lenses because you either already have them from shooting with Super 35 cameras before, or let's say you have a really nice fast piece of glass like the Sigma 18-35 that you really love working with, if you put this camera in 4K mode, you're automatically using it basically as a Pyxis 4K, and the sensor size is effectively Super 35, so your smaller lenses will work just fine. And for those of you who are super nerds that love to collect vintage glass and like weird format things like I do, like my Super 16 Russian vintage lenses I have here, you can actually put the camera into 2K Super 16 mode and get the same accurate field of view. So even your super vintage, really tiny lenses that would create a little porthole in the middle become a perfect 2K opportunity to use those cool vintage old school lenses that might have worked with something like your Bolex or digital Bolex. Speaking of sensor sizes and lensing, there's a lot of misunderstanding and misconception about what it means to use a full frame lens on a crop sensor. Now, I'll be explaining this in another video, and if you'd like to follow along with those as they come out, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to know more about some additional educational content I'll be releasing, not on YouTube, but on my website, you can follow the newsletter. There's a link in the description below. Now, the second most important thing to know is that the Pyxis 6K has a dual native sensor. That is, at 400 and 3200, you should have about comparable amount of noise performance and dynamic range. However, noise performance really comes down to a lot more factors than simply whether or not there's noise in the image or on the sensor. And you can negate this quite a bit by bringing things down about 1 stop from each native. I go into more information about this in the 6 quick tips video on the Pyxis 6K, as well as another video I have out there called Blackmagic ISO Explained. Now, the third and final thing you want to know about this particular camera is that it shoots only BRAW. There's no ProRes option, and it does create some highly compressed 1080p proxies, which are great for editing workflow, but you're not going to want to use those as your primary file for your projects. Now, BRAW is a pretty insanely good compression. Compared to ProRes, it's all 12-bit instead of 10-bit across the board, and basically, the BRAW 3:1 is going to give you about the same data rate as ProRes HQ, 5:1 is like ProRes 422, and 8:1 is like ProRes LT. Within that same data rate, you have 4 times the color depth. And it may seem like magic or impossible, pun intended, but really, ProRes came out in 2007. It's been over 15 years, it'll be 20 years in no time. I think we're due for an upgrade. If we can take MP4s from being 8-bit 420, something I'll explain in another video as well, and increase the quality to 10-bit with H.265, I think we can do the same or better with recording formats so you aren't stuck with ProRes. I highly recommend learning Resolve. I highly recommend learning how to color grade and actually embracing the BRAW workflow. Now, of course, this camera does a lot of great things, and there are some fantastic new features that Blackmagic has released with it. The firmwares are already coming out, giving it some critical, very valuable updates. And if you'd like to see me do a whole video completely reviewing and breaking down this camera, let me know in the comment section below. In the meantime, head on over and check out my 6 quick tips for maximizing your footage with the Pyxis 6K, as well as 5 super critical accessories, some of which are featured here, that you really need to get for your Pyxis 6K rig. If you found any of this information helpful, please subscribe to the channel so I can make more of these. Give it a like, give it a share, give it a comment. And if you'd like to see more in-depth educational content about filmmaking specifically, go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter. That stuff won't be on YouTube. I'm going to be putting that over on my website, which I'll have more information about in the newsletter in the days to come. Thanks again for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys out there on set.